Okay,
Yeah,
someone
Madam
came.
Asif.
joined.
Is
Faculty
it?
joined.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, hi everyone. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening,
Good
ma'am.
evening.
Okay, so I'll request everyone to please go on mute. Okay, so what we will do in today's demo session, basically, we will be first discussing about the course, the syllabus and everything. And then basically, if you have any queries, you can ask, right? So before even I start the session, let me introduce myself. I will be your course instructor for this entire course, and I'm working as a staff data scientist in Fortune 50 leading companies. And I completed my master's from IIIT with data science as a specialization. My major was computer science. My specialization was machine learning on top of big data. I have 6+ years of teaching experience and industry experience. I'm currently working as I started my career as a data scientist. After my master's, before my master's, I was working as a big data engineer. After my master's, I started my career as a data scientist and then senior data scientist. And this year I promoted to staff data scientist. I worked in different various organizations, starting from investment bank to healthcare to aviation to renewables. Different domains I have worked. Teaching wise, I have mostly trained 1,000+ professionals, right? And my major research area, or basically my expert area, is computer vision. Currently in my recent company, I am mostly into image processing and deep learning. Coming to my other experience, like I was a faculty in Reva University, and it's a deemed university in Bangalore. I was a part of corporate training and different engineering colleges. I was a part of their faculty development program, right? In Durgasoft, I'm here for last 2 years, almost like 20+ batches we have completed. Now also we are running 2 batches, morning and evening weekday batches. And this demo is for the weekend batch that we are starting newly, right? From next weekend onwards, basically. Okay, so this is my introduction. Coming to the data science demo, what we are trying to understand in today's demo, let me first give you a quick summary, right? Before we go ahead with the other things. So in today's demo, we are mostly focusing on lot of things. Let me just give you a brief about it. Give me 1 minute. So how the sessions are, basically, I will be taking not much time. Maybe you can give me some 20 minutes, 20 to 25 minutes, where I can brief everything. Once you get an idea, whole session is yours. Like, you can ask me any queries if you have, any doubt if you have, you can ask me. And all the queries we will be discussing one by one, right? Okay, so what is the agenda? Agenda is basically, we'll be understanding what is data science. We'll understand what is artificial intelligence. We'll understand different kind of artificial intelligence applications that we use in real time. We'll understand the data science life cycle. So if you are joining as in a company as a data scientist, what will be the life cycle of the projects? We'll be discussing about the skill sets required to become a data scientist. And then finally, I'll give you the course highlights, the syllabus, the content, the duration, everything we will discuss at the end, right? And then I will take questions from you. So starting, I no need to tell, I think artificial intelligence is a word like everywhere it is there. If you kind of people who are non-technical, they also know what is AI, right? Like lot of this word is very, very common nowadays, starting from your Alexa to your Google Home, Face ID lock to your recommendation engine, everything is a AI application. So I think in 2021, when somebody is taking artificial intelligence course, this question I will kind of not even we need to think twice whether that is important or not, whether the scope is there or not, whether in the future the course will be irrelevant or not. So all of these things are not there, because actually if you don't kind of if you don't upgrade yourself to the next generation, I must say one generation of IT is changing. I'm not saying only in terms of AI, but there are a lot of other techniques and kind of skills which are kind of you need to upgrade. Otherwise, the traditional IT is going to be changed. I mean, the next generation of IT is coming up, and if you're not kind of upgrading yourself to the next generation, I think it's very I mean, it's a hard fact, or maybe it's very difficult to secure your position, right, in IT in next 5 to 7 years. You may name it artificial intelligence or cloud computing or big data, or you name it like DevOps. So all of these different technologies are the next generation, right? Cyber computing, cyber security, and you have this lot of things are there, which I think is coming up. IoT plus blockchain, IoT plus AI, lot of multidisciplinary fields are also coming up. So these are the next generation. So why we are talking lot of things about data, because we are generating lots of data. We don't know, but like whenever we log in to any website, or whenever we are opening our computer, the moment that we do whatever we are doing in the internet, we are generating some data, right? Maybe we are doing some chat messages we are sending using WhatsApp, Facebook, or maybe any social media platform, images, video, lot of different varieties of data we are generating. So now this data is the new oil. Oil means what? Means from this data, company can generate lot of insights, and that eventually can help company to increase their revenue, right? Now many people will write in the CV, or in this demo, many people will ask me, I have 10 years experience in Java, I have 15-year experience in testing, I have 18-year experience in some other, let's say, digital marketing and some other field, and now I want to come to data science. After taking this course, can I write 7-year, 8-year experience? Can I write at least 5-year? Because I have total 15-year experience. After taking this course, I should be able to write 5-year. Otherwise, like how I will match with the pay and other things are there, right? Position and all. So let me tell you one thing before even starting the class. This is the trend chart that I have collected from Google, and you can also search for it, right? After this call, you go to Google, go to trend, and then you search for this term called data science. And for that term, you can see here, this is coming from 2014 onwards. So there is no term itself called data science, or there was no role. I remember when I got an offer of data scientist, my husband and my other family members, they were asking me, what is data science, right? That was so new that time. So what I'm saying is data science is new. So you will not be having any experience like 10 years, 15 years. That concept is not here. Statistics is there, machine learning was there, is there, statistics was also there long back, but the term itself called data science, the job role called data science is very new. Maybe I can consider 2013-14, that time, right? After all of this big data, Hadoop, Spark, everything, data suddenly when it started growing exponentially, that time this term called data science came to market. So if people are kind of planning to write 10 years, actually that does not exist in data science, right? So people who are real-time practitioner like us, when we see the CV, we laugh, because data science was not there in 2008, 9, 10 time. How you got 10-year experience? So there are a lot of advantage actually. So if something is very new, I don't need to tell, there is a huge demand in this pandemic also. You go to LinkedIn and search, lot of data science roles are still open. So lots of jobs are there, but skilled people, I'm not saying application, lot of applications, many people are applying, but skilled people are less, right? Skilled people, even I have seen people are from very, very top universities, from IITs and ITs, even in top companies. I have worked in world's top companies, and I have seen in top companies the data science is very new. In those companies also, people are not so efficient in data science. I'm not blaming the people, because the domain itself is new. Everybody is in learning stage, right? Everybody is kind of learning now. So this itself says, this data science, after taking this course, like you should, like 6 year 7-year experience means you are very senior, right? You will be leading a team with 7-year experience in data science. Will be offered a team lead kind of position. So please be careful what you're writing in your CV, right? Because this is the fact. Okay, later we will discuss. Now, I think why you should learn data science, lot of answers. Just now I have shown you the Google Trend chat, which is saying data science is new. So a lot of demand, but very less supply. So still there is a chance if you're a skilled person, definitely you can get into that. Second thing is lot of if you compare the traditional IT job versus data science salary, it is almost like 20-30% more, no matter what country or no matter what region you are from. Definitely, if you compare with that region salary, let's say some traditional IT job versus data related jobs, not only data science, all data related jobs, you will find salary is very high. And this is not a story I'm telling, based on what I have seen. Many of my friends, they are working as software engineer, and many of my friends, they change their domain, and I can compare from there. I'm saying, right? And I think data science is the future. There it itself, like everybody knows, I don't need to tell anything. Artificial intelligence is the next future, right? Maybe in our kids generation, lot of robots and lot of things will be automated using AI. And I think 5 years back when we were kid, or maybe when we were in schools and colleges, if somebody will tell stories about Alexa, we will not believe that time. But today it is a fact, it is a truth. So looking at this situation, if the progression is like this, it is not a kind of surprise thing if most of the machine like most of the manual kind of operations will be automated by machines, right, in next 5 to 6 years. So data science is multidisciplinary. It's not like only you will work in certain kind of company, like let's say service based, or no, it's not like that. Across domain you can work. You can work in, I'm from computer science, zero knowledge, but I worked as a in finance company. I am working in renewables and aviation. I have zero knowledge in aviation and renewables. Tomorrow, maybe I will switch another company, maybe which is a healthcare company. So different. You can work in NASA, DRDO, government organization. You can work in logistics, supply chain, e-commerce, healthcare, aviation, renewables, manufacturing. You can work on healthcare. Lot of domains. So it's a multidisciplinary field. Any company you apply for, there will be data science position open. So lot of reasons are there, and the most important reason is, for many people, money is not a motivational factor, though most of us work for money, that's true. But the work satisfaction or job satisfaction, if you are a person who is very interested to learn every day new things, very curious in learning, then I think this is the field. Any new project you start, you will learn something new, right? And it's not like the same thing you are repeating. You will never think I have repeated the same thing. If you are repeating the same thing again, you're not a data scientist, right? Lot of varieties of problems are there, and you will find yourself like over 3-4 months, whenever you're switching project, you'll be learning new concepts, right? So I think there are a lot of reasons why you will learn data science. If I keep telling, it will not end, and maybe that is the reason it is most demanded job in LinkedIn, right? Coming to other applications, I no need to tell you, when you go to Facebook, when you open it, you will find some suggestions like friend suggestion, right? Like all of this add friend suggestion, and those people, are they completely a stranger? Definitely not. The people whom Facebook is suggesting as friends, definitely they are not strangers. You must be knowing them by somehow, right? And how Facebook is knowing, right, how to suggest whom to suggest, right? So all of these things are AI. So they are using different kind of recommendation algorithms. Coming to your Amazon, but this is a different kind of recommendation brought together, customer who brought, you might not be knowing, but 33% revenue of Amazon is because of this recommendation, right? It is a huge number, isn't it? So that is how AI is contributing. So, and one more interesting thing is, like, for us, it is very irritating, but this is the fact. Can you see this part? And most of the time when you're watching some YouTube videos, or when you're going to Facebook or Instagram, you will find this kind of ads are coming. So these ads are also not kind of very new. If you remember, sometimes in the past, maybe you have searched something in internet, maybe some website you have visited, you added these products to the cart, and then you have removed it. You have added in favorite list or liked some of the products. from this category, and from there it is started coming to you, right? So this kind of ad or target marketing or ads, it's not random, right? So the target marketing, please mute yourself everyone. As I said, I will give everyone chance to answer. Please mute yourself, otherwise I will mute you, so you cannot ask questions. So better you mute everyone. Please wait for some time. Give me 10-15 minutes more. Once I'm done, your entire session is yours. You can ask me any question, right? So this ad recommendation, target marketing, right? All of these things are application of AI, right? If I keep telling, it will not kind of not end. In this pandemic, this is a computer vision system which will detect uh, whether you have the mask that you are wearing is correct or not, like properly you are wearing mask or not. If not, then it will generate alerts. Coming to this object detection, traffic signal monitoring, lot of computer vision. So this is again artificial intelligence, lot of application I'm showing you. If you go to text data, again chatbots, this is a kind of like lot of application you can see basically in this pandemic. When last wave one, when it came, right, last year, if you go to Make My Trip or basically Indigo or any Air Asia, to kind of refund for your refund status, you will find a chatbot is kind of interacting with you. So all of these things are actually AI, right? Chatbots are created using artificial intelligence techniques, mostly deep learning kind of algorithm. Lot of other application, if I keep telling, I will keep telling, it will never end. But summarizing, the Google itself is AI application, the search engine itself is information retrieval, that is AI application, right? All the search engine, your when you open your Gmail, you will find inbox where all the good mails are there, and spam, right? Google is automatically classifying the emails which are irrelevant, it is putting it in spam folder. That is an application. Lot of application like Google translator, you type in Hindi and you will find the English equivalent translation, right? So all of these things, Siri, your Siri voice assistant, all of these things are your applications, right? If I keep telling, I will, like, it will never end. I'll take one example to demonstrate how AI is really helping. I'll take this from manufacturing sector. Like this, there are every sector has their own use case. It's just an use case, and very simple use case, not very high level like self-driving car or let's say very high level application. So super simple application with very minimal of effort, how you can save billions of kind of uh, revenue of the company, right? So what is this application? This is called machine failure detection, right? This is called machine failure detection. So the first thing is, let's say we have lot of machines, right? Let's take one machine. Let's say we have a inverter. Let's say we have an inverter, right? In that inverter, we just want to we have lot of sensors. This is IoT. So we have lot of sensors. We have what kind of sensors? We have temperature, we have, let's say, current, we have voltage, we have the inverter battery status, like state of health, state of charge, lot of battery related sensors which will capture each and everything that is there in the inverter, right? So lot of sensors we have, right? And let us take one sensor. Let's say this is one sensor I'm taking. Out of all of that, I'm taking just one sensor. So this is called predictive maintenance or anomaly detection or smart signal, right? A lot of name you can give. See, if just simply I will plot the data, let's say every 5 minutes, I'm generating one data. Let's say this is one simple one sensor. This is a temperature sensor, which is measuring the temperature of that particular machine. Let's say for last 2 years, we have data, right? Let's say we have 20 degree, 21 degree, 23 degree, and so on. So let's say I just plotted the data like this. What I found is, from the data I found, this is the normal range. And from this data analysis, let's say this is past 4 years or 3 years data I'm taking, and then from there, or maybe 4 months or 4 days, whatever is the threshold, I found that this red line is the kind of threshold. Basically, if the operation is normal, basically we'll find a temperature with between, let's say, 20 to 23 degree. This is the normal temperature. Now what happened, one day suddenly the temperature started rising, right? Let's say one day it started from 23, it became 24, and then 25, and then it became 26, and then one day it just kind of failed. The machine failure happened. Now, if AI is not there, you will not be absorbing this, right? You will not be knowing this temperature is rising. Now, what will happen? Suddenly, one day, when when the operation in the operation hour or in the very much productive hour, the machine stopped working. Lot of loss, right? Maybe that machine is a MRI machine. Maybe that machine is a wind turbine, or we don't know. Maybe that is a very important machine. So, all the loss that the company has to bear because they are not prepared for this. Now this is what is called this is called no AI application we have used. But if we will use AI before 4 days or 5 days, here only suddenly when it started rising from the threshold, it will generate alert. It will generate alert. And if you're getting this alert continuously for 3-4 days, or maybe 3-4 hours, maybe a field engineer will go and visit what happened. And what he found is the temperature is rising because one of the part is kind of damaged, right? And that part needs to be replaced. He replaced, and this failure or this downtime we can reduce. Here only we can kind of it will come back to the normal operation, right? From here it will come back to the normal operation. So this will give us a lot of customer satisfaction. People who are using our machine, they will be happy because zero downtime. And we will also save a lot of money because instead of completely replacing that machine, now we have repaired it. This is called beforehand you are predicting the failure of the machine. This is a very useful application in IoT and manufacturing sector. You name it, Tata Steel or different kind of manufacturing sectors are there, right? This kind of AI application they are using. So AI is everywhere. I think e-commerce everybody knows, but mostly manufacturing, other sectors people don't know. But every sector they're using artificial intelligence. Every sector has their own use case, right? Now all of these things, I think data science has different life cycle. I'll simply summarize this within 1 minute before we go to the next section. First, we will meet with the client and understand their problem. We'll listen to their problem. What is the problem? Let's say the client is telling, you know what? Let's take this example. You know what? Last time, we are super unhappy because we lost one of our customer because of the violation of the commitment, because we gave 0% downtime or zero downtime, but one machine failed. We're not able to track when the machine will fail. Suddenly one day in the production hour that failed. So can you help us in kind of understanding the health of the machine in advance so that we can prepare our machine accordingly? So this is the problem statement. You understood the problem, you listen to your client, and then you frame it. From there your project starts, right? That is called scope of the project. You define the scope, everything you defined. After that you ask the client what kind of data you have, right? I understand your problem, but what kind of data you can give me to support? The client will tell you, okay, we have all of the sensors and we can provide you this temperature, all of the sensor data, and this is the database where it is stored, well, all of these details, right? Maybe it is in cloud or in local server, wherever it is, RDBMS or NoSQL, wherever it is, they will give you all the access. Now you will start collecting the data. That is the second step. Once you understood the problem, you started collecting the data. Next, you will clean your data. Clean means what? A lot of things we do in data cleaning. For example, take this particular data set, right? What you will do, the client said every 5 minutes we have data. Let's say every 5 minutes we have data. And when you actually capture the data, what you find is 10:05 you have data, 10:10 there is no data, and then 10:15 there is a data. This is called missing value. So you found a lot of missing value. Do you have any idea what to fill in 10:10? No. So you have to clean your data. You have to do a lot of pre-processing. You need to visualize your data. This red line, who gave this red line? How you know that this red line is the threshold? So lot of statistical analysis you will do, lot of visualization you will do, lot of missing value treatment you will do. Let's say what happened one day the machine is kind of it was not intentional, it was kind of because of some reason the plant was shut down that day, let's say, right? So the temperature is 0. So what you will find is one anomaly you will find. Normal operation is this, maybe one day it came like this, dropped or 0, right? So this is an anomaly. You need to clean lot of things in the data before you jump into modeling. Like this is an example, anomaly detection, a lot of pre-processing or cleaning you will do in your data, and that will take a lot of time. And after all of these things, you will start modeling. Modeling means you will predict the future, like you will build a machine learning algorithm or deep learning you will use to kind of build a model which can predict in future, let's say any violation in the temperature, you can generate alerts. So that's the modeling and validation. After that, you will tell your client, I'm done. You take this model and start using. They will do real-time validation. They will start using your machine for some time, and if it is really working, then the project is going for deployment lastly. So where you will deploy, maybe a lot of platforms, Dataiku, cloud, right? Sometimes GUI. So depends on the company. So this is a complete life cycle. So you are a full stack data scientist means give me any variety of data. Give me time series data. This is a time series data, sensor data. Give me text data, give me big data, give me small data, give me semi-structured data, XML, CSV files, give me RDBMS kind of structured data, give me image data, give me video data, give me audio data, speech recognition kind of. Give me any data. I am expert in handling, and any volume of data if you give, I am expert in handling everything. So that is the data science who is a full stack data scientist, from problem definition to operationalizing everything single-handedly you can handle. And not only definition to operation, but any variety and any volume of data you can handle. So it's a very big task, isn't it? You need to learn a lot of techniques to actually become a full stack data scientist. And once you become, then I think the salary you can, like, you cannot even expect. I have seen people are getting 200%, 300% hike. People who are joining TCS and Infosys or other kind of IT service companies, from 3 they are jumping to 21, 18, 20 into 3 years. I have seen, this is not a joke. I have seen my friends who jumped from 7, 8 to 13, 14, 18, 20 kind of, right? Direct jump, because the skills are very high on demand, right? I think you understood the data science life cycle. Now, what all skills are required actually? A lot of skills are required. So none of the codes that you will take will be 100% complete. The complete word is not there in artificial intelligence world. You need to understand there is nothing called syllabus is complete. This is not a Java, or this is not a Python, or this is not a Scala or kind of language class where I know these all are the topics, data types and for loop, if loop, done, 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 complete. Syllabus is complete. There is nothing like that, right? This Java, Scala, Python is just assumed to be known things. I mean, language is nothing in artificial intelligence, just such a silly thing we will consider that. There are a lot more things are there to learn apart from languages. Definitely one or two language you have to be very expert, maybe Python or R, or maybe Python with Java or something, right? One or two language, at least Python at expert level. But along with Python, lot of new skills you have to learn, right? And there is nothing called end. Now you can ask me, if there is no end to syllabus, how can I prepare myself? Because we all are humans. So people who are taking your interview are also human, so they know this problem. So there is something called mandatory, and there is something called additional or good to have. Don't think any data science or artificial intelligence JD you can match 100%. It's very rare that 100% JD you can match, but 60 to 70% if it is matching, you are a very good fit, right? And don't be scared looking at the JD. Many times what the JD is they are writing, when you really go to the interview, you'll find completely different things, right? So JD 60 to 70% if it is matching, you're a good fit. And mandatory things you need to complete. It's like your IAS, other civil service exam, lot of syllabus, right? Can anyone complete? Is there any end to general knowledge syllabus? No, you just keep reading, never it will complete. Like that AI, you just keep reading, never it will complete, right? But how to focus, whatever is mandatory or whatever is interview point of view, whatever topics are important, first you complete those things in depth. Then if you have some time and other things, then you can keep add different things. right? And also one thing is important in data science interviews. Surface, if you touch and go for data science interview, if you try 100 companies, every company will reject you. Depth is something which people will look into, not the surface. It's not like how many algorithms you know or how many fancy tools you know. Definitely that is important, the width is important, how much you know is important, but whatever you are saying, do you know in depth? Let's say, especially when it comes to ML and deep learning, you will say I know 20 algorithms in machine learning, but when I will ask you a simple cost function of linear regression, which is the simplest algorithm, you will fail there. I will not even give you second chance. First round only I will reject. Second candidate, he's honest. He's saying, I know 6 algorithms, but whatever I'm asking from left to right, everything is able to explain. I will hire the second one, right? Not the first person, because many data scientists nowadays are tool based data scientists. What is tool based and what is kind of knowledge based? Tool based means they just know how to implement using packages. They just learned packages and they don't know what they're doing. Blindly they're doing something, they don't know what they're doing. And those kind of people will first, those are the first people who will be rejected, because data science means lot of analytical power. You should have lot of analytical tools. Anybody can use it. So tools kind of, they will check your analytical skill, not your tools, because tools, they will check in the coding test itself, all the second, third, fourth, fifth round, whatever it is, they will check your analytical skill, right? So what I mean to tell in one line, when you apply for any data science interview or job, you first prepare yourself in depth. If you're selecting one part, let's say machine learning, I'm selecting, and let's say I'm taking this linear regression, I should complete this linear regression first. Whatever is there, all the theory, 2-3 projects complete, done, tick. Then go to naive base. Many people just focus on width, and many institute actually they focus on width, and quality is very important than quantity. Mostly I will not name it, but in this part, Hyderabad kind of part, they check on quantity, not on quality. So okay, 3 months, okay, this many content, right? Who is teaching, from what is the background, nothing. Okay, quantity is more, let us join. You 100% you will fail in the interview, because quantity doesn't matter here now. Quantity matters, but quality first. In the data science interview, they're going to grill you in maths, they're going to grill you in each and every algorithm, they're going to grill you in your CV, they're going to grill you in your project experience. Those things are important. If you know, I know Tableau, Power BI, I know this that 10 20 tools, but you are not strong at the mandatory skills, you have learned all the unnecessary things, but mandatory skills you are very weak, I will reject. So what I'm saying is the correct path is very important. The syllabus is huge, and correct path is important. What to learn, how much to learn, and how to prepare, how to write. If you know that much, data science is not difficult to crack, because yes, the company's demand is very very high. They are expecting someone who will be from masters, IIT, triple IT, NIT kind of background, full time MTech, and a lot of expectation is there. But are they really getting? Answer is no, they're not getting. If 40 roles are there, maybe 5 or 6 people are there getting. Rest all they have to take other people, because if somebody will not get skilled people who are, let's say somebody is a master's degree but doesn't know anything, will I take that person? Or somebody has learned himself, has a very good Kaggle rank and lot of answers he's giving, I will take the second one, isn't it? Because many of the data scientists, they themselves done the career transition. So it's not a kind of difficult task to crack interviews. Having said that, there is a proper way how you will go for the interviews. It's not like whatever you want, you can copy paste somebody's resume from internet and write it as your project and tell stories. Don't think that, right? This is not going to help you. First you learn the concepts, knowledge you gain. After that you practice, go to Kaggle and lot of projects you practice. Then with that knowledge, if you write nicely in your CV, if you prepare, and if you are very clear on the depth, then definitely you can crack interviews, right? Lot of skills are required for data cleaning, for data transformation, for modeling, for visualizing, for operationalizing. Lot of skills are required. I don't want to go to detail about those skills. We'll go to that content, right? We'll go to the content. Salary and all, I think everybody knows. It's a huge salary if you go to abroad, right? India, this things are a little different, but in US and other countries, this is the salary, right? For any data related roles, right? coming to the course highlight, the course is full stack data scientist, and the main goal of this course is to make you very confident when you go for interviews. That is the main goal for this entire course. And how we are preparing you: first we will prepare you for different kind of real-time projects. So almost like 15 plus real-time project you will be doing in this particular course. There are chapter-wise assignments. You will be having, it was coding test every Saturday, but actually we have changed it. So what will happen is every class there will be 30 minutes kind of coding test, right? At least in the weekend class when you join. Weekday also we have classes that is 15 minutes every day, or maybe 10 minutes every day. So I just splitted the weekend into 10-15 minutes every day. Similarly, in weekend classes, it will be 30 minutes to 40 minutes. We'll decide the timing. That will be the coding test. Coding test means, let's say this week we have understood about pandas. So next week when you join for the weekend class, first you will get a question, quiz kind of thing. 30 minutes, either in the starting of the class or at the end of the class. 30 minutes to 40 minutes coding test. 30 minutes you will practice, 20 minutes, 10 minutes we will discuss the solution. And then like next class again you will prepare. So every weekend whatever you are learning, that entire week you need to do the assignments. Hence you will practice all the things. And when you join, you have to attend the coding test. So a lot of practice in terms of programming, you will be getting a lot of hands-on in this particular course. And the cream is CV template I will share with you. And the intention is not to tell you to copy paste, because those are not your CVs. At least you will get an idea what kind of AI applications you can get industry wide. So some CVs are from manufacturing industry, they are real-time data scientists. Some CVs are from e-commerce, so you can understand people who are really working as a data scientist in different domains, what kind of projects they're doing. So in that way the CV will help you, but I will suggest you prepare your own CV based on your experience. Take some reference maybe from this templates, right? So this is a kind of complete support. And basically the data science syllabus is also very well designed. um, like the duration of the course will be around 2.5 months, right? Whether you are joining weekday or weekend, the duration, I mean the number of hours you are giving is same. So on weekday we have every day 1 hour class, right? Monday to Friday we have 1 hour class, and Saturday we have coding test of 1.5 hour, which I'm going to change. So every day we will have 1 hour 15-minute class, including Saturdays. Saturday also there will be class, and every day 15 minutes. So cumulatively 6 into 15. So almost like around 1.5 hour test every day if you sum. Same way on weekends, weekend batch, what we will have? We will have 2.5 hour class in the morning, and evening we will have coding test of 1 hour, right? So you have to join. Mostly we can decide the timing. It is not so like we will decide the timing maybe when we all will discuss, right? What I am planning is morning, let's separate the coding and the class, right? The classes will be in the morning, and evening we will connect again for 1 hour for your practice. 1 hour will be coding, and maybe 15 to half an hour will be your discussion. So whatever we have done. So coding in the sense is not like just Python questions. When it is Python module, Python questions. When it goes to machine learning module, every weekend you will do a modeling. Morning we have discussed, or last week we have discussed linear regression, right? So this Saturday you will have a test on linear regression. I will give you a data set, and then you will have to answer those things. I'll show you also what kind of questions you will get and all. So you will do a project. So coding tests are based on previous class, not the current class, right? So approximately 3.5 hours to 4 hour class every weekend. And I think it 4 8 hours, and there also weekdays it is actually less, right? 6 hours. So approximately if you combine the weekend and weekday, same time per week we are giving here 2.5 and 1.5 1.5, or 1 hour coding test. And the course duration is 10 weekends, but it's not included the demos. Today's session you can exclude. From the day we start the content, from that day it will be 10 weekends, right? Now let us see some of the kind of a project you will get or some of the kind of notes you will get. So here everything is in depth. The content is very vast, and I have selected whatever is really important. It's very well structured. I don't know whether you have the content with you or not. I will love to show you the content, right? After this, you can see, after this class, you can see the content. I think content will be shared with everyone um, along with the email. So you can see, go through the content. I just want to give you the highlight at high level, right? Detail I am not going, but at high level I can show you what kind of content you will get, what all are the topics. So first we will start with Python. So along with this, before even I start the content, you will get 170 hours of Python recordings completely free from Durga sir. 6-month access will be there, materials and Python recordings. Entire topic starting from what is Python, Python installation, to advanced topics like decorators, generator. So if somebody wants to apply for web developer or Python related, I think they also can try that, because Python is 170-hour content you will get from Durga sir. The day of your enrollment is confirmed. You will get the access same day. Plus Tableau recording from my side you will get. Tableau recording, you can ask me doubts if you have, after going through the recordings, if you have any doubts. Those are the bonus things we are getting. So my track is Python for data science track. So we'll start from Python only. From the very first, we'll start from Python. Having said that, if you have already a knowledge in Python, I will not make you bored by teaching Python for months and months, right? Because my content is different. Rather than making it a Python course, I want to make it a data science course. So I will focus on core Python, just the kind of introductory idea I will give. Wherever coding test is there, there will be exactly coding test will happen. Wherever assignment, you will get assignment. And then I will start with my Python modules like pandas, numpy. We have this visualization libraries, right? Plotly. And then I will be going with statistics. I'm just telling you at high level. I'm not reading through every topic. And then we will be going to machine learning. We have a lot of topics in machine learning. And I will show you notes also in machine learning, what kind of in-depth we are going about each algorithm. Notes and project also I will show you, right? So machine learning, and then we have decision tree, logistic regression, polynomial, all of this. Coming to k-means clustering we have, and then we have deep learning. We will be discussing TensorFlow and Keras, two libraries. Machine learning, we are going to discuss sklearn, pandas, numpy, plotly, express, all of this, followed by deep learning, right? First is your ANN, artificial neural network. We'll be discussing one project. You will do one project for every algorithm in the class. I will take you through, I will code, and one project you will do yourself in the coding test. 2 projects for each algorithm, right? And then we have computer vision, lot of related image related things like thresholding, what is filters, what is convolution, right? What is CNN, followed by one project where we have 1800 COVID patient X-ray images. AI model will classify whether those X-rays are pneumonia affected or normal. So that's the project we'll be doing for CNN. And then we will be discussing about time series, what is a lot of seasonality, trend and all, what kind of different time series data modeling techniques we can handle, followed by NLP, text mining we will see. I'm just reading out the topics, later you can understand. And finally, we'll discuss about Spark, Apache Spark. So going to get machine learning, deep learning, time series, NLP, Spark, and then the Python module. Those are at high level, right? And these are the topic names. This is not just the topics, we are going in depth about any topic. So I think if you see any of this, let's take, so let's take one simple linear regression. Let's say linear regression is the simplest algorithm, right? So when it comes to any kind of linear regression algorithms, one second. So let me show you some machine learning or ANN. Let me show you ANN. ANN is a kind of deep learning, artificial neural network algorithm, right? So this is the algorithm. This is the note. One second. Let me open the note. I'll show you. Right? So let me open this. So this is a kind of ANN algorithm notes. So you can see this kind of, all of these things I will be deriving in the class. The maths are very, very detailed, and I believe in depth. I don't believe in width, right? So whatever we will complete, we will complete in detail, and whatever we are not touching, we are not touching, right? So you can see this is the ANN notes. Like this, each algorithm we will see in depth, all the maths, whatever is required, I will type it, I will write it in the kind of class. The maths I will take care, no need to worry about it, about maths. From starting to ending, everything I will take care. Only thing is you just practice the assignments, attend the coding test, and prepare your CV well. Nothing you need to kind of, what is the prerequisite? Prerequisite is 0. So just join the course and follow whatever I'm saying. And after taking this course, you are eligible to apply for 2 to 3 years experience in data science. And many people, I think, will ask me why 2 to 3 years. Just now I have shown you the trend chart so that there should not be any doubt. Data science started in 2014 or 2013. So the journey of data science itself is new, right? Maybe 8 to 9 years. So what do you think after taking 3 months of course, what level of justification you can give? Hardly 2 to 3 years, isn't it? Not more than this. So to be in the safer side, you can showcase 2 to 3 years. Having said that, I have seen many of my smart students, they have actually cleared senior data scientist level of interview. But that is exception. Normally, generally, you are eligible for data science related post, right? You can apply 2 to 3 years. Itself is a huge experience in data science because data science is new. Total is 8 to 9 years. So 2 to 3 years is a huge kind of thing. And if you're writing 5 to 6 years, you have to prepare that level, right? It's a huge thing in data science to get a 5 to 6 year experience. Maybe you will be considered a super senior or kind of team lead at 6 years of experience. So if you can justify, if you're already working in data domain, maybe you can justify. Maybe some of you are already working in data domain like data engineer or data analyst kind of role. Maybe you can try for senior data scientist. But if you're completely fresher, never seen anything in this domain, want to switch, my suggestion is start from scratch. Maybe you can start applying for data science. Don't worry about the salary. Initially, maybe it is less or more, I don't know. But after 2 to 3 years, you can reach to that level. You can do a big jump. As I said, there is no 30% rule applicable in data science. Lot of topics, more topic you add in your CV, more salary you can demand. Right? A person who know all the things full stack, the salary is 60, 70, 80% more than what the traditional IT people are getting. So don't worry about salary when you're learning about AI. What is your focus should be knowledge. So run after knowledge, money will run after you. Right? So this is a domain where money will run after you if you are knowledgeous. There are a lot of companies who are ready to give you whatever you will demand if you are skilled. So make yourself skilled first. Don't run after money initially. Initially your target should be changing company or domain, especially, right, to data science. Once you are in data science domain, you can do wonders. You can learn a lot of things. You can switch companies. You can demand 30, 40, 50%. You can learn a lot of things. So all the things will happen automatically. So don't try to write 8 years, 10 years, 20 years. So this is very much kind of reason of a lot of people who are getting rejected, because 10 years it does not exist in data science. If somebody is telling you I have 15-year experience in data science, do you believe, should you believe them? Answer is no. Maybe they are working as a statistician or some other field, maybe that is true, but as a data scientist, no, that is not possible, because 15 years means 2010. That time data science was not there. So how you will start working as a data scientist, right? So hardly people will have 7-year, 8-year, 9-year, not more than that in this domain. If somebody has started very far, very early, let's say around 2013, 14, if somebody has started, then might be he is a senior resource now, maybe team lead kind of, maybe 7 to 8 year. Okay, so this is the kind of demo and basically the project you want to see, right? So I'll guide you. Today only we have this project session happened. So coding test I was talking about. So what kind of coding test and what kind of questions you can expect? Let me show you some of the questions and project. So this is one of the project, maybe this. Okay, I'll show you one machine learning project that we have done in the class and what kind of project you can expect in the coding test, right? So we have done this project, insurance project in the class, and I have given one more question to practice in the coding test. So for regression algorithm, after learning the notes, you will be getting 2 projects. One is this project, let's say insurance project, And in the CV preparation class, I will tell you each of the project, how you can write it in different domains, right? How to transfer this insurance. If somebody is working in manufacturing, let's say not in insurance company, how they can write this regression problem into their domain. Okay, so this is a complete project. This kind of project, 10 to 12 projects we will practice. This is a complete project. I don't want to kind of scroll through, but once I have completed this project, you can practice one more project in the coding test. This is Pandas coding test. People who are already knowing about Python. Let's say I have given some questions to them and they have answered all of this. Then like 10 to 12 questions, not more. And this is 1 hour time. So you practice, lot of practice will happen, right? The timing mostly will fix the timing in the evening. Coding test can be in the morning and classes will be in the evening time, right? 7 to 9:30. Or maybe if the coding test is, we will decide the timing. It's not like hard and fast kind of thing. We half an hour here and there we can adjust. So I'll stop here. My demo is done. So if you have any question, you can ask me now. Anything that you want to ask?
Yeah, hi. Susmita, this is Bivas here. I have one basic question. Like, I have very like I have total like 6+ year of experience into IT, and I know the basics of Python only. So, will this course will be suitable for me to directly jump and start with the data science? Because I know only Python. I don't have any other much idea on other subjects.
Many people have, even they don't know Python also, but still they are able to understand everything. So you are ahead of them. So Python, if somebody knows, then I think that is very good. Actually, I'm not giving lot of time in Python. If you see the syllabus, we're just focusing on core Python, and then we have a different track. We have our Python, that is data science related libraries, right? So if like that is actually recommended if you have some time, maybe you have, yeah, you have this. Please mute yourself, everyone. You have this 1 week time or something. So practice some core Python. If you are completely non-technical, you have zero knowledge in programming. So that time maybe you have to give some extra effort and you enroll as soon as possible so that you will get Durga Sir's recording also, which will helpful. But if you know basic Python, I think definitely you can understand. Rest all thing I will take care. So you can definitely understand.
Fine.
10th class level of math and Python core, Python basic knowledge, if you know, that is more than sufficient.
And one last question I have is the course timing, I mean the schedule and all. So I can avail myself actually in weekends only, because I have in weekdays I have normal office hours, which is very difficult to accommodate. So only weekend I found suitable. So how it will be feasible for this course?
So this is a weekend batch only. There's not a weekday batch. So all the classes will be on weekend only, right? We have separate weekday batch. People who want to join weekdays, every day, Monday to Saturday classes will be there. You have to join 9 p.m. evening, 9 to 10. That's the class already started. This core Python we have. So any one of you, like if you want to join weekdays, you can join. But weekend is a fresh batch. This batch is weekend only. Everybody, is it clear? The batch which is starting fresh is weekend batch. The timing will be 7 to 9:30, and morning time you have to connect for coding test. 1.5 hour in the morning, 2.5 hour in the evening. Total you will connect 4 hours.
Okay.
Is it clear?
And how many weekends batch to complete this course totally?
2.5 months, approximately 10 weekends.
I have
And
one
these
query.
demo sessions are not included in those 10 weekends, right? Yeah, go ahead.
I have one query. Is there a weekend batch for the big data analytics course also that you are planning to take, right, on
Big
weekdays?
data analytics course, weekend I might not be having any time because I'm completely occupied. All the weekends we have coding test of all the batches, so I have to organize those things. So weekday only we will start. Weekend there is no plan of starting data analytics. It will start, but weekdays it will start. Data analytics weekdays it will start.
Yeah. I want to join weekdays courses. I think it is started on last this Monday one.
Correct. Last Monday, and yes.
How
Yes.
much?
Core Python. 1 second. Please mute yourself, everyone. Please mute. I will answer. So let me tell you to please mute first, everyone. I'll wait for 1 minute. I'll wait for 1 minute for you to mute. Please mute. Let me explain. Okay. Who is this? Who is not muted? Lot of background noise. Okay. I don't know who is this, but please
From
mute
your
yourself.
side, you mute all
Nikhil.
persons.
Nikhil.
Two more.
I have. No, it's not Nikhil. Who is that? I don't know. Somebody. Okay, anyways. So there's a lot of disturbance. So this is a very common sense, right? When we join, please mute, right? Okay. So you can ask your question. It's not like you cannot, but if you think you have some background noise, I mean, that is perfectly fine. We are in a situation where background noises are very common. You can type your question, or maybe you can unmute and tell your question and then go on mute when I'm answering, right? So let me clear two things. There are two batches. One is your weekend batch. People who are going to join this weekend batch, this is a completely fresh batch, right? This weekend we are not starting. This is a demo week. Today we have already this demo session. Tomorrow please join for the installation and other software requirements. Next weekend onwards this batch will start. This is a fresh batch from level 0 we will start, right? Everything from core Python. Now we have one more batch called weekday batch. Weekday batch we have evening 9 p.m. 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. This is the timing every day, Monday to Saturday. Saturday it is morning, coding test is in morning. Monday to Saturday, actually Saturday classes is there. So every day 15 minutes coding test. 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. is the timing. And I'll tell you what has been covered in the weekday batch. In the weekday batch, we have completed core Python, right? You can see in the syllabus what is variable, what is function, and NumPy we have seen. NumPy and core Python we have completed in the weekday batch. Now, if you are a person who already know core Python, or you know the basics, you don't want to get bored again listening to what is variable function again, you can take the recordings, enroll as soon as possible. Maybe you can join tomorrow, Monday onwards. That batch is already formed. So it's not in a demo mode. We are not going slow here, right? So it's not in a demo mode. Already the batch is formed. You can continue from Monday onwards. Now you can ask me how I will get this content. You join the next Saturday, Sunday. If you join the next Saturday, Sunday, this weekend batch, from starting from scratch, I will complete this core Python, or I will start this core Python. In the meantime, every topic in the 9 p.m. you can understand. Why? Because, but I cannot generalize because it depends on your background. If you're a completely fresher, non-technical, never seen programming in your lifetime, better to join the fresh batch. If you are a Java developer, Scala developer, Python developer, you already know, you think that if you spend 1 or 2 hours looking at the videos, you can understand 100%. Then this batch is last week only we started. 3 to 4 hours content we have covered. This also I'm not saying I will skip. In the next weekend we will see this 3 to 4 hour. In the meantime you keep continue joining 9 to 10, 3 to 4 hours content you can see from your side. Once your enrollment is done, recordings will be provided. Please go ahead looking the recordings, and next Saturday, Sunday when you join this weekend batch, this will be covered. By next Monday you will be on track. Is this clear, everyone? So people who are planning to join weekday batch, don't surprise when I'm starting from pandas, right? Because this is pandas, what is going on there. So what is left? Core Python and NumPy is finished. 4 hours. Core Python is super simple. NumPy is one important topic. But if you take the recordings, it is very, very simple topics. You can 100% understand. Or you are a person who already know Python and Core Python, definitely you can join for weekday batch. Not any important topic we have started, like your visualization, statistics, machine learning. Like 99% syllabus is there, only 1% we have seen. Is it clear, everyone? Weekday batch planning, is it clear?
Yeah, one more question, ma'am. Suppose sometimes what is happening in we are having some late evening meetings, so
Yes.
might be time we can miss that session. So are you,
Recordings.
yes, recording also?
Yes, recordings are available. You can use those recordings for 6 months. Recordings are available for each class. If you miss, you can go through the recordings.
Okay, sure, sure. Thank you. So how to register for this? Do I need to call for this number or how?
Yes, this is the admin number. So you can call to this number for any kind of registration, right? And yes, so any further queries, like it's not like you will not be able to talk to me ever. So it's not like my name and everything will be disappear after you enroll. No, it's not like that. Throughout this course, any query, if you want to kind of talk to me one to one, let's say many question you cannot discuss in the group, so you can call to this number. Ma'am will connect with me. 5 to 6 you can connect with me. Other timings we all are working, right? So I'll be busy, you will be busy. Evening time mostly I'll be available. Those time you can connect with this number. Ma'am will connect with me, and you can ask, talk to me anything. Let's say after the completion of the course you're not sure like how to write the projects, or you have some domain specific queries, you want to understand in your domain how AI can be implemented, any kind of suggestion or any kind of doubt, if you want to ask me, you can always reach out to this number, right?
मैडम मेरा एक
And
क्वेश्चन है.
yes, हाँ.
हेलो. मैडम अगर हमारा कोर्स कंप्लीट होते ही थोड़ा रिज्यूम प्रिपरेशन के लिए मतलब रेडी करने के लिए आप कुछ गाइड करेंगे? और
See, one-to-one resume preparation I cannot guide because this is a batch. It's a general thing. So what I will do
some
is I will
templates right?
templates. Yes.
Yeah.
I will share the templates with everyone, and also I will give you some real-time examples. Maybe I will guide you how to write any project in your CV. What are the points you need to write? How to prepare one CV? I will take you through one by one. Let's say 8
Yeah.
to 9 projects. I will explain. So from there you will get an idea, right?
Yeah, just one session only. You check that.
Yeah, it is there. It is there. One session definitely. It will be long session, 2-3 hour session only on CV preparation. That is after the course is complete.
One more thing. No? Hello.
Yeah. Yes.
Hello.
Yeah, go
Any
ahead.
job call from your side, ma'am, after completing course?
Job assistance we are not giving. Only we are giving the training kind
Not
of thing.
surety, but just you have any. Okay.
See, that is a different thing. Like if I know my students, if there are some openings, I will refer. That's a different thing. But kind of placement and all thing, I think that support. I think, see, based on when it comes to data science, this reference will not work actually. Honestly, I will tell you, when it comes to other domain like
Okay.
web development or other things, maybe reference can help. But data scientists are very important role for any company, right? So they will be, when they're
Yes, ma'am.
hiring, people can understand when it comes to data engineer, data science, very hot skill kind of demanded kind of roles. They are very particular about choosing people, right? So I mean, reference can just help you in sending your CV to the right person, but it depends on the right person to select or reject based on your CV. Everything is your CV based. It's like nobody can help you, especially in data science. Even if it is a startup, they're even more scared to hire you because they have very minimum resource, isn't it? So if they're investing a lot of money on you, they are very sure. They should be very kind of sure that you're the right candidate on which they're investing a lot of money, right? Per hour charges are $200 a data scientist when it comes to US and others. So you can understand how much they're spending. So they're very particular about choosing people. So
Okay.
I mean, based on
मैडम
my
रेफरेंस के
experience,
लिए नहीं
I'm
पूछ रहे
saying,
मैडम.
हाँ,
तो
नहीं,
जैसे
job
ऐसा कोई
assistance,
कॉल है, ओपनिंग्स है, आपके पास कुछ पता चलता है ना, हमको यूजुअली पता नहीं होता है कि कौन से कंपनी में इंटरव्यू निकले हैं,
correct.
क्या है, कौन से क्या
हाँ,
चल
तो
रहा है.
वो सब तो generalized thing है. Like you can go to your LinkedIn and you can go to your Naukri, you can go to
Okay.
different portals and upload your CV, and based on your CV it will be get shortlisted. But हाँ, अगर कभी-कभी जैसे कि I get lot of calls from HRs, maybe in those cases I can forward it. Right? Those kind of help I can do. But it's not a
Okay, because
guarantee
I'm
or
coming from non-technical background. 3 years I worked there. That's why I'm
okay,
asking. ma'am. Yeah.
got it. Yeah.
Hi,
Madam,
Sapita.
one more question
Yeah.
regarding the code in weekend batch. What is the course fee structure in weekend batch?
16,000. 16,000, it
Okay.
is fixed.
And that also includes all the video
Everything.
materials from Durga sir for Python,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
So that is a
And
bonus.
as a data science engineer, what should be the basic configuration of the laptop? I mean, the hardware.
So
I mean,
those
not
things
for
will
this course in general, like in company, or I mean, uh, is some intensive execution.
see, companies can give you 16 GB machine and they'll give you cloud access if they have deep learning and other things, big data, right? Mostly companies are using cloud, but yes, like depends on the company. When I was working in one of the, you can imagine, I don't want to name it. It's a king of investment bank, right? You can imagine what
Okay.
company it is.
Yeah.
That the data was 200 petabyte, 200 terabyte market data when we are collecting. So when I joined the company, the day one when I get a server access, the GB RAM was 200 GB. So I have never seen a system. So I just googled it whether I am correct or wrong, just to convert, right, bytes and all, to see how much, whether it is 20 GB or 200 GB. So I'm not
Yeah.
saying this, but if it is a big data company, they will give you those kind of setup. Normally,
So
if you
for
take
personal
those
use,
are
personal
exception.
use.
Those are exception. So normally 16 GB, 8 GB, your personal use 8 GB is fine. 12 GB you will get Google Colab. So you can use that Google Colab. Till 12 GB you can get it from there with GPU support. Recommendation is 16 GB. If you can upgrade, please upgrade to 16 GB because this course has Apache Spark and deep learning. But I'm not
Do you
telling you
need
to spend
any
money.
expensive graphics like NVIDIA graphics or
No.
2
We are
GB or
using
something?
Google
Not
Colab.
required.
You can use
Yeah.
Google Colab, yeah,
Thank
for
you.
GPU and all. Yeah, no problem.
Ma'am,
Yeah,
hi, Susmita, it's
hello.
Yogesh. Yeah. See, I am having the experience of 10 plus years, right? But the experience what I am having is as a design engineer in automobile sector, right?
Uh-huh.
So it's a mechanical based companies, and I have never gone through any of these things what you have shown in the syllabus, right? But seriously, I want to change my domain from there to here, right?
Yeah.
So from last one month, I am learning this Python, right? So I have learned everything about the Python, and now I want to go for these things, right? But the thing is that when I saw your syllabus, it's means very confusing to me whether I can go with all those stuff or not. Right. So can you just guide me a little bit? Is this worth to change the domain from there to here? Means I have no experience with any kind of these topics. Right.
Yeah, I
So,
got it.
but really,
Yeah, so basically, if you're from manufacturing sector, I think I can guide you very well because currently I am into manufacturing, and it is one of the leading manufacturing companies. So we have different kind of. I have worked same company, but domain is different. Like aviation, we have renewables, we have healthcare, we have transport, we have lot of different sections, and everything is manufacturing. Lot of machines and all. So when I was in aviation, our team of 40 data scientists. Out of that, I think 30 are from mechanical background. They switched to data science internally, maybe 1 or 2 years back when the team started. So I am in renewals and I can see I'm working with a lot of data scientists who are from electrical background, electrical. So what I mean to tell you is this is not a wonder, or don't think companies will only take people who are from computer science or statistics or maths background, because they will not find those kind of, I mean, the skilled people, and the demand is so high that to match the demand, if somebody is skilled, they're taking their irrespective of their background. If you are kind of, see, data science is something which is behind the scene. It is math, isn't it? It's not a kind of lot of like software engineering or other things. You have to understand a lot of things. But here, if somebody who can understand the maths and stats very well, I think they can become a data scientist. Python, Scala, Java are just the wrapper or kind of languages we are using to program it. But the concept is nothing but machine learning, deep learning is nothing but math. Everything is a math. So why you think you will not understand? If you have cleared 10th class or 12th class, I think everybody can understand the data science math. I'm not saying that data science math is that level, but that is the minimum requirement. From there, I will take you. Whatever is needed, I will guide you in the course. Everybody will understand. Definitely, they will understand. Programming, yes, you may struggle in programming, not in understanding the data science concept, understanding the programming, because you're non-technical, right? Never used programming. So, and
right,
you are saying you already invested time understanding Python. So I think that is
right.
a good thing. If you are confident in Python, rest all things definitely you can understand. And coming to applications, I have shown you one use case, right? Machine failure detection. Lot of mechanical and electrical applications are there in AI, right? Which you can write it in your CV.
Okay.
So all the
So we just
non-technical
go.
people, yes, it's for everyone. If you are non-technical, ask yourself, can you learn Python better? Or maybe you can spend some 1 hour, 2 hour extra than what others are spending, at least in programming. That is the only thing which you need to kind of learn, or maybe give extra effort. Content, data science content, new for you, new for other people also. People who are software engineer, for them also the data science content is new, isn't it? For you also new, for them also new. What they know is programming. If you know programming, you are equivalent to them. And everybody can learn data science if you have an interest in math. It is all about maths, nothing else. Maths and Python.
Okay.
Hello, madam.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, madam. Yeah, actually, I have received course content for IAI from Durgasoft Admin, and in that course content, there is no Python course. It will not cover in
Because
that.
no, Python is there. Python is there in the course content. Python is there. So 2.5 months, I don't want to waste your 2.5 months teaching you Python. So what I have done is 15 days I have dedicated to Python. 2 months is dedicated to machine learning, deep learning, and other very important content. Why this is happening? Because Python is different for data science. This is not the core Python that we are this is not the Flask, Django, or a lot of other Python modules that is needed. Learning is always good, but what is needed is important. So needed is other libraries like data manipulation libraries like pandas, numpy. Coming to your plotly, visualization, those Python is important. sklearn is kind of Python library. PyTorch, Keras is also deep learning, but you will code in Python. So we have different set of tools that we are learning, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Python from day 1 to day end, Python is there because everything you are coding in Python only, but the Python track is different here.
Data science and AI both are same or different?
No, it is different. Different. So different in the sense artificial intelligence is the main kind of, you can say it's a superset. Inside artificial intelligence, everything is coming. Machine learning is a branch. Deep learning is a branch, right? Computer vision is a branch. Yeah, everything
for that
combined.
only. Yeah. Okay. For that only,
Hello.
I contacted admin. Actually, I am going to join for AI only. When will it start, madam? It will be started for AI course. Batch. When batch will be started for AI?
See, there is nothing called AI course, right? AI course is nothing but I'll tell you. Okay, there was a slide, but I just skipped it. But maybe I need to explain that. This is the slide. Let me tell you this. Just give me 1 minute. So what is artificial intelligence? Let's say your kid is studying in standard 2. So what all subjects are there? Can anybody tell me? Maths, right? So are your kid is in standard 2? Yes. Okay. So math is a subject in standard 2. When you say your kid completed standard 2, you are saying a kid when he is master in maths, master in English, master in Hindi, master in computer science, all the subject when he is mastered, then you can say he's mastered class 2, isn't it? Similarly, when somebody has mastered in machine learning, mastered in deep learning, mastered in computer vision, mastered in NLP, mastered in fuzzy logic, mastered in information retrieval, mastered in bioinformatics, mastered in soft computing, all of this thing, then you will call him AI engineer, or AI is completed. That's why AI is an ocean, nobody can be mastered. But why this term is AI engineer, sometimes you will find, because if it is a multidisciplinary, means not only machine learning, maybe 2-3 things if you know. For example, you know machine learning plus NLP plus deep learning. It's not like everything you have completed, but at high level, you can say you are an AI engineer. Is it clear? Only if you know machine learning. Can you tell yourself as an AI engineer? That is not an appropriate term. You are a machine learning engineer, not an AI engineer, if you know only machine learning, isn't it? But let's say you know deep learning, you know natural language processing, you know robotics, you know NLP. 3-4 things you know. Then maybe you can consider yourself as an AI engineer. Is it clear for everyone? Is it clear for everyone? Now, data science is a part of kind of AI where it is mostly business oriented. So data scientists, rather than their research, they're not really worried about inventing or discovering new algorithm and all. They are already, people are there who have created packages, tools and everything. Data scientists are the person who are business implementation people. Means what? They will take the problem from the client and they will productionalize it. They will operationalize it from starting to ending. How they will do? They know the theory already, they have learned. They will use the tools, packages, whatever is available, and then create a product out of it. Those are the data scientist people. So there are different roles actually. Now, who is data engineer? Anyone? Data engineer are the people who will help them ETL, maintaining the data science projects. Right? So big data experts, they are the cloud experts. They will create the cloud architecture, maintain ETL, all of those things they will do. So they are data engineer, data scientist work very closer. Now, who is a machine learning engineer, deep learning engineer? They are most research kind of. We have a research team, global research team. What they do? They take the most complex problem from each domain and then try to solve it. It's more kind of very research oriented field, machine learning. They are not very client facing roles. Data science is a very client facing roles. Like you have to connect with the client, take their problems, requirement gathering, collect the data, build the model, deploy it, collaborate with the client. Like you are a person who is not more focused towards research and all. Everything you know, the tools and everything. Linear regression, okay, here linear regression I will implement. Go to sklearn, implement. Tableau I need, bunch of tools and packages, but it's not like blindly you are using, every tool and package logic behind it, and then you're kind of adding everything together to build a product. Is it clear? Mostly
Yeah.
client specific, not research kind of field, right? Research is
Okay.
there, but very client specific. You have to face
Okay.
clients.
Okay. Then if I want to learn AI, then I have to join this batch only, right, madam?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So you earlier you said that I mean people know the tool, right? Then depending on their analytical skills, they know the tool which is not that great, right? So what tools are you referring to there?
No, tools in the sense packages. We have bunch of packages, right? For example, deep learning, we have TensorFlow, Keras. For machine learning, we have sklearn. For visualization, we have Plotly, Matplotlib, Seaborn. If you go to paid tools, maybe Tableau, Power BI. For data manipulation, we have different tools. For data storage, we have different tools, isn't it? Like MongoDB, SQL, we have cloud, a lot of tools we have, right? So like for deployment, we have platforms, AWS or Azure or GCP. So like bunch of tools is what is required, plus a language. Python or R or maybe Java or Scala or whatever, right? Maybe Python is very popular.
Yeah. So the question I had is, since the packages which already exist, people are just using it, right? So are you saying that we can create a package after taking this training, like something like Matplotlib? We can also create our own package and use it?
No. I never see. The objective, you did not get it correctly. So the objective is to make you a data scientist. So in data science, it is more you are focused on solving the problem of your client rather than innovating, discovering something. It's not a research kind of field. It's mostly client specific. You take a problem and solve it and deploy it. Now, whether you will be able to create your own package or not depends on you, right? How I can tell you. So how much you learned, how much your expertise, what is your background, how much you have invested time, that depends whether you will be able to create a package or not. Because it is open source, everybody can create and contribute if the package is good. Having said that, lot of expertise is needed. You are in a very beginning stage. First focus to understand the what is mandatory things, then you will go for the additional things, right? So okay, your question is whether this course will help you in that or not. I think this course, the scope of this course, I have clearly told you. This course will help you to crack interview for data scientists. Now, the job of a data scientist is not to innovate or discover any new tool or package. Job is to know the logic of each tool and the algorithm details, and to analyze the data and create a product out of it, solve business problem. That you will be able to do it. Right?
Yeah, and ma'am, but my concern is I'm not looking for a job. I already have a job. right? This is something which I'm interested more than looking for a job. I'm interested in these topics, data science, AI. I mean, I know said earlier, right? In next 4 or 5 years, AI and other umbrella would be definitely booming, right? So that's the reason, like, I'm trying to focus more on AI, data science, and see what I can learn and improvise myself.
Yes. So definitely you will get a lot of knowledge because you're learning machine learning, you're learning deep learning, you're learning time series, you're learning Spark, right? A lot of learning. So definitely it will boost your CV and definitely it will help you to understand in detail, not only understand, you can implement yourself. Take any data
Mhm.
and you can build a product, or maybe you can build a model yourself after taking this course.
Okay, okay, ma'am. So one last question. You also said instead of running, by, try to get knowledge in depth,
Yeah.
right? I think that's a wonderful point. So when you say in depth, I was just thinking, is this course is going in depth, or is it just talking about, okay, this is the package and this is what we are going to do. We are going in detail because as I
Okay.
said,
I
more
will
on a
say.
map.
Okay. So I'll pause you here. So there are hundreds of courses available in market. So today it is an assignment, open challenge to everyone. So what you need to do is call to any organization, any institute, right? You are free to call anyone, starting from people who are offering data science in 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs, to people who are offering in very less price and very great content. Ask them one question. You do it because you have all rights to know, right? I have done it personally and I know what you will get. Ask them to show one demo recording of machine learning or deep learning and one kind of lecture note. Will they be able to provide you that? Let me know how many institutes are providing and why they're not providing. If they're so sure about the depthness, why they can't provide? Isn't it like Python material everybody can show you, isn't it? But if the machine learning and deep learning content is in depth, what is the hesitation in sharing? Nowadays lot of free content is available. What is the hesitation of showing your material to the students? And here we are open to show you the ANN, CNN, whatever notes we are using. From there only you can understand the depth, how depth we are going. So out of 100, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 people or 3 institute will be able to show you. 80 to 90% of the institute. I tried it. I honestly tried it. Why I tried? Because I want to know people who are going for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lakhs courses, what they are really getting. To understand that, I requested, what I got is only demo recording, nothing else, not even a single machine learning note. Let me tell you, yes. And don't you think that is your right to know? Isn't it? When you're joining for a course, isn't it your right to know what kind of machine learning the trainer should show you the notes of, at least the machine learning, deep learning notes and the projects, right? Projects will be kind of very similar, but when it comes to depth, it's about the algorithm. So why are not showing their notes? So what I mean to tell you is, here we are very transparent, right? If you want any algorithm notes now, I can show you. And from there, you can judge whether it is in depth or not. So the motto is to take you in depth. Whatever algorithm we are covering, covering in depth. Whatever we are not covering at all. I will tell you what next. It's not the end, but I'll tell you what next things you need to learn. Maybe at the end of the session, I will tell you. I'll give you a roadmap. But whatever we are covering, that is a tick mark for you. That algorithm is done. Programmatically, theoretically, mathematically, everything about that algorithm is completed. Till that level, we will see. That's the reason we have continuous batches. Every 15 days, we have batch, and every batch in this competitive world, getting 100 plus data science student is a challenge, isn't it? Every batch, we have 25, 30, 25, 30, every batch. And every 15 days we are starting, and still we are able to get those kind of strength because the quality is really good. Many people have already joined morning, evening, can take honest feedback from them. It's not like 100% I will satisfy everyone. No, that is not the case. But at least more than 70-80% will be happy always, right? Because the course is in depth. See, you will blame me otherwise. See, what is happening is, your intention is not to get job, but others who are enrolling for the course to get a job, you will not get a job, right? You will not get a job if you don't know in depth. That's the fact. Because tools, do you think they don't know you can copy paste the tools from Google? Stack Overflow is there, a lot of things are there, you can copy paste. So how they will kind of how they will check you? They will check you on your logical side. Coding, anyway we have first round as coding test. If you clear that coding test, then only will go for the second round. So there is no question about you that you cannot code. If you have cleared the coding test, you can code. And why they will ask you tools and coding questions in the second, third, fourth round? Everything is machine learning, deep learning. They will grill you on algorithms. Based on that, whether you will be selected or rejected.
Madam, that course content you are showing before, right? One PDF, sorry, one Word document. Can you please share
Yes.
that over mail, or I mean?
Everybody who have registered, yeah, will get that
Yeah.
content immediately, maybe today or tomorrow morning. You will get the content attached in your mail, right? You will get the content,
Okay.
course content and
Okay.
everything.
Actually, it will be very useful because we are we are going to be a part of this weekend batch only. So at least like we can advance something by learning ourselves in weekdays, and
Yes,
we can when next session start we can come up and get the things properly.
correct. So you are getting 5 days time, right? So that you can
Right.
revise everything. And you can come up with your doubts in the weekend class, especially for people who joined weekday. Every day they have office and also class. So I
Right.
mean, it's a little difficult if they are not giving time on weekends. It's difficult for them to complete all the assignments. But for you people, at least complete weekday is there to practice. And coming on weekends to ask me doubts. And complete weekend, you are practicing learning new things. Complete weekdays, you are revising what you have studied. 5 days time you have. Okay, anyway, so we will stop this session here, and tomorrow what we will do is there will be no demo session tomorrow. We'll be starting with tomorrow. It will be less time. Maybe we'll connect for 1 hour. Next weekend onwards, it will be full-fledged class. Tomorrow we'll be looking at the software installation part. Right?
Ma'am,
One last question.
can I ask some question?
Sure, sure. So you can ask me 1 or 2 questions, but don't worry. Like tomorrow also, you can ask me questions. So
Okay,
tomorrow
ma'am.
also, it's not a class. We are not starting tomorrow. Yeah.
Ma'am, which processor are sufficient for data science and machine learning?
Sorry, what you are asking?
Ma'am, which processor is sufficient
Which
for
processor?
data science? i5 or i7?
See, I will suggest i7, but don't worry about system. If you have, let's say, worst system, let's say 4 GB and i3, still you have options. Like you can go for cloud, Google Colab, where you can run all your codes, right? So I think recommendation is 16 GB and at least 8 GB is recommended. i5 8 GB is recommended at least. Right? Okay.
Can a fresher can job in data science?
Freshers can get a data analyst job, which is very close to data science. And eventually you can move to data science after working as a business analyst or data analyst for 1 or 2 years. Eventually you can move to data science. Right?
Actually, I'm currently working as a tester. So can I switch a tester to data science?
Sorry, I could not hear your question properly.
Ma'am, currently I'm working as a
Can you type your question? Menu, please type your question. I will answer.
okay, ma'am.
And tomorrow as well, we have to connect the same time.
Tomorrow 7. Okay, so let's discuss the timing. The timing is okay with everyone, right? 7 to 9:30. Is this timing is fine?
Yeah.
Everyone?
Right.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Fine. Yeah.
I think evening only will connect. Morning it's a practice session, 1.5 hour. Half an hour I will connect, 1 hour you will practice. And evening let's connect 2.5 hours. 7 to 9:30 we will connect, and we'll have breaks in between. So like it's very practical plus theory. It's not whole theory. We will
So
have a
every
break in between. Yeah.
So, madam, every weekend morning there will be 1 hour or the 1.5 hour session where will be coding test and will be there, and
Yes.
evening 2.5 hours where will be theoretical sessions and you will be
Yes.
like guiding there. Okay.
Correct. Yes. So in
I have one
worst
question.
case, let's say people who are not able to join the morning session, in worst case, it's advisable to everyone to join both the sessions. But let's say some commitment is there, you can take the recordings and practice yourself in the morning. But it is advisable to join both the sessions. But do not miss the evening sessions. Those are the content. Morning are practice sessions. So morning, if you miss, you can somehow manage. But you know what, like in a group there are a lot of fun, like a lot of people will share their code, we will discuss, I will share my code, I mean, it's a group kind of discussion class, so it's really good if you can join. But if you cannot join, you have some commitment, you can take the recordings. Evening class you should not miss. Okay,
Okay, and
yeah.
tomorrow it will be 1 hour session, right?
Tomorrow it will be short session, unless next weekend we'll start the content.
Okay, 7 to 8 for tomorrow only.
7 to 8, yes. Tomorrow also you can ask any question if you have. Today let us ask. Tomorrow there is a session. You can ask all your doubts, right? Okay. Thank you everyone.
Hello, ma'am. I just pinged you one. What is? Can you please?
It's already late. So what is your question? May I know your name?
It's Venu. I just think that there are a lot of courses in YouTube regarding data science and machine learning courses. So, like
Yes.
IntelliPath, they are providing Edureka. So, how your course will be different from them?
Yes. So I don't know whether you have kids or not. For kids also there are a lot of online courses. Where are you sending them to schools? They can learn from online courses, right? What is the different learning your kid from looking at YouTube videos and going to school? That's the difference. Here you can talk to me, ask to me, type your question, I will answer, right? There you can just look at the videos. Nobody is there to answer your queries. And here you know how much to learn, what to learn, and it's a correct roadmap. So only thing is you can learn yourself if you are smart. I'm not saying everybody should enroll for a instructor led course. If you're really smart, you can learn from free courses, but you have to spend 6 months time for learning. Here you will complete the same thing in 2 months. Why? Because there what you will do is, now the problem with internet is lot of information that we will waste our through 2-3 hours just browsing this website, that website. Okay, this is there, that is there. Okay, what to learn, what not to learn. By that 1 day 2 day will go. Here you know what to cover, what not to cover, what to skip, what to take. So let's say pandas, let's take a concept of pandas you can learn yourself. Like we are also upgrading ourselves, right? AI, it's once you have taken means not like ended. A lot of courses where you will, there are a lot of topics where you will not find. Please mute yourself everyone. Please, Venu, can you mute? Yeah. So there are a lot of topics. You will not find the instructor-led course. Let's say I'm learning about reinforcement learning in real time. I want some, so I have to go for this books and other things. It's not like it's not possible. Many of the people are learning themselves, but the time is the factor here, right? I think it's a very generalized question. I should generalize like this. The time is the factor, and time is money, isn't it? Let's say 4 months before you got a job, every month you will get 1 lakh, 2 lakh. 6 month 9-10 lakhs you will get. Here you are spending 16,000, you are saving there 6 lakhs, but you are learning yourself. I'm not saying, or I'm not demotivating, learning yourself is very good, but at least when it is a new domain, right, when it is a very real time practical oriented course, you need somebody who can show you the roadmap. Okay, this is the roadmap, you need to cover this first, and then this much is important from this topic, this much you can skip. So that 6 month track which you can complete by yourself can reduce to 2 months, and then next 2 months you can be job ready. That's the advantage. But having said that, if you are smart, everything you can learn yourself, that's very good. Lot of free courses, free internet is flooded with courses and information, right? Which one to pick, which one to reject, what is the correct information, how much information is sufficient, those all things you will get from the course. Is it clear? Did you get your answer? So I'm not saying you cannot learn, but the time is a factor. Your learning will be faster because you know what to learn. Then it will be little slower. That's the only difference. You will learn the same thing, but there it will be slower and here it will be faster, right? And you will get the practical knowledge, what is happening in the industry. And somebody is there to speak with you, instructor led. And if you join their instructor led question, is it free? who was asking EduReka 55,000, IntelliPact self-learning course 23,000, Great Learning 2.5 lakhs, Upgrad 1.8 lakhs, right? Why they're giving free? So they are also not full, right? There is a lot of difference, instructor led and free. So it's like Geo. So they are attracting you by giving some very basic concepts so that you can check their quality and everything and enroll for their course. Kind of advertisement for them. The content they publish YouTube, it's very basic content, very, very basic. EduReka, I have found many content is really nice, but I'm just telling you, this is an advertisement policy, right? But when you join their courses, honestly, they will give you the same thing what you're getting here. The algorithm, the details, the project, I have the content of every institute. There are certain institute which I will not kind of, when it comes to InSophie and all, their tutors are brilliant tutors. They are from IIM and very high level instructors. So their per hour charges are very high. Can you imagine a professor from IIT or IIM when they are coming they're teaching you? Do you have any idea how much they will be charging per hour? They have a AC infrastructure, they have bus facility. Who is going to pay for that, right? So the content and quality will be definitely good there, but the price also will be good because a lot of things they will take from you because they're investing that much. It's not the institute's faults. They are giving you that infrastructure. Hence you have to pay for it. So if you come, so I have done a lot of research. Everything is actually the same track. If something is, you are getting lot of content, 5 months, 6 month content. Tell me one thing, instructors who are very, very well paid in very good organization, will they be giving you 6 months, 7 months content? Because the per hour charge for them will be very less. Why somebody will come and teach you 6 months? Obviously the instructors will not be data scientists themselves. Somebody will be teaching. You can check their profile, right? I'm not saying people who are giving 8 months, 9 months course with 15,000, 10,000. Think about the instructor quality. And by taking that course, you're going to get nothing. Where you are getting a very high level instructor like from IIM, IIT, like professors and all, the content quality will be very good. Having said that, the price will be more. You're investing, but you will get in return sometime. Investment in education will pay you back someday, right? So you need to kind of judge, or you need to decide what you really want. What is good, what is bad for you. Quality matters, content matters, quantity matters, price matters. Based on that, you can decide. Everything is same equation, right? Okay, thank you everyone. We'll connect tomorrow. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Please share the course content, ma'am. Don't
Sure. Yeah.
wait. Thank you.
Thank you everyone.